Yeah.
Always, always.
Sorry. I set
Hi.
it up and everything and got it ready to record, and I didn't record. Okay, so, yeah, okay, so a problem that I run into pretty frequently is really just how people enter things into calculators. So we would need to divide by this, okay? If you write 4.76 times 10 to the negative 9 divided by 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19 in your calculator may choose to do this calculation first and then multiply it times this number.
And I put everything like in parentheses.
Good. You should be a parentheses junkie when you're using calculators. Like always,
Oh yeah.
parentheses here, parentheses here. That's very important. And the answer should come out in something times 10 to the 10. So let's run that through a calculator real quick. We'll do that here.
Oops.
Okay, so we'll do 4.76, and then in this calculator you use e to represent times 10 to the negative 9, but I think we could probably do times 10 to the, yeah, we'll just do that, times 10 to the negative 9, and then we divide that by, and we want parentheses, 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19, and our parentheses. And that gives us something that's a little bit difficult to count out. Let's see, 3, 6, 9, 10 decimal places. So that would give me 2.98 times 10 to the 10. 2.98 times 10 to the 10. So in my quiz, I would go over here and write, oh, that's 2.98. And then I leave the times 10 to the 10, and that's my answer.
And see, I did all of that, but it just, I don't know what happened. It just, my answer never came out to 10 to the 10. And
Excuse me. Oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Excuse me, Dr. Norman. Autumn Efer texted me, and she said she's waiting to get in.
Oops. I didn't hear the thing, the ding. It didn't show me the ding.
Is it working? Like, does it say she's trying to get in? She sent me a picture of the screen saying, waiting to be accepted into the conversation. I think, is she there? I'm so sorry to interrupt.
I think I saw that too earlier, Abigail, but I didn't know if that was for me to do or.
Oh no, I just got like a text from Autumn about it.
Oh, okay.
Let me jump out of presentation mode real quick. Okay. I'm not sure why it did that, but apparently when I was in presentation mode, which earlier when I was in presentation mode, it didn't give me a problem about that, but
Welcome, Autumn.
and now it's not giving me the option.
I saw she joined.
Ugh.
There she is.
So it does appear that there are a few bugs that we're going to need to work out with this. I have two people in here. I have my sound person and I have my presentation person. So, okay. Oh. I better have my mic off here. Okay. down again. Okay, am I back? Can everybody see my presentation person?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, Autumn, I'm sorry about that. I did not know that it didn't give me that notification until I stopped presenting.
No, it's fine.
So, okay, yeah, I think I know how to prevent that in the future as long as I don't have to exit out. Okay, so, I'll tell you what, why don't you, was that Brittany that you said you had trouble with this one?
Yes, and I just did it again in my calculator, and it's still...
Okay, why don't you send me email about that one in particular, because I
Okay.
don't want to hyper-focus. So,
Okay.
send me an email, we'll work through it, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get rid of this screen. Or what I can do actually is I can just go to a new screen and hide that one in case you want to come back to it. Okay, so what about the videos? Did anybody get a chance to watch? Some of you did. Light.
Yeah, I watched all three. I thought they were pretty cool.
Light is amazing.
Yeah,
Really.
I like the fish thing. How what is that?
Oh,
The
good.
light refraction, or hold on.
Yeah, I might need to make a demonstration on that.
Index of refraction, and how like the fish, you think it's in one spot, but your eye perceives it in a different. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
that is so
A
cool.
fish tank. I got a fish tank for Logan, and I actually thought of that because the way I perceive him, and after I saw your demonstration, Dr. Norman, is totally different. I thought that was cool how you represented that because it made more sense to me.
I'm so glad, because when I saw that diagram after I got done drawing it, I was like, that is a lot of lines.
No, it was perfect. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense. I'm a visual learner, so that was perfect.
There's another thing that's involved there, and your book talks about this, and I don't know if this is the kind of thing that they would approach on like a praxis, but it's not too bad to think about, so we should go ahead and mention it. You know, when light rays come out of the water, so I'll put a surface to my water, and then I'm going to make a light ray that's coming out of the water here, and maybe I'll make it this direction. So the first thing that you always do when you have a situation like this, I want you to have like a reflex where you say, okay, this thing is encountering a surface. Wait, hold on. Underneath my surface here is water, and then above is air, right? So when I reach an interface between water and air, then the first thing that I should always do is draw my dotted line. Okay? Always draw your dotted line. So,
That's the reference line.
yes, you need a dotted line,
Okay.
right, or dashed line, or whatever, right? Because that tells you everything that's about to happen. And then we look at this and say, what? Okay, you tell me. I'm going to draw some points here, like so. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F. If I were to design a praxis question, this would be the way that I would design it. Well, actually, that's too many points. Try it like this. I guess we can only really do like 3 points. Maybe we can do it like this. I guess we could do it like that. Okay, A, B, C, D, E. Where is the light gonna go? I think that would be a pretty decent
And
Praxis question.
so the solid line is the object that it's refracting off of, and then the dotted is the reference line. Is that right?
Correct. This is the surface of the water, so let me actually...
Oh, okay. Surface of the water.
Yeah. Yes.
Would it be B?
The dotted line is imaginary. It's just there to tell us what the perpendicular is to our surface. Yes. Okay, so what was that? Was that Brittany that said B?
Yeah.
Okay. Who agrees? Who disagrees?
She said B, or did she say C?
B. Because what we would think it would do is go on C, but
Correct.
it's not going to. It's going to go to B if we were trying to look at an object in the water, right?
I agree with her. I think it's B also.
I'm stuck in between B or C.
Are you sure? Because she
Sure,
might
water.
just be saying B because her name starts with B.
No.
So y'all should argue.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me get my little drawing that I did from my video last night. Where's my little fish? No,
Oh, wait.
Okay, there's my fish. Okay, wait a minute. So, are we underwater looking out? I'm inside the tank. Is that?
You know,
Or are we outside?
then the interesting thing is that we don't have to be anywhere, because light is going to do whatever light is going to do regardless of whether you're there to see it. So it's not actually a tree falling in the forest, right? This is what that light ray is doing right now in a swimming pool somewhere where you're not. Now, yeah, you
Okay.
can be an observer
Well,
also,
I-
but it's definitely going
I
to...
still think it's B.
I think it's B.
Okay, so do you remember our principles, which are that we're going to look at an angle with respect to the dotted line, and we call that like
Yep.
theta incident, right? That's the incident ray. And then the exiting ray is going to be somewhere else, and so let's do a line. So okay, so now it was originally headed in this direction, and this dotted line that I have here it's going to also be at some angle, exit angle from the dotted, well, from the other dotted line, from the gray dotted line, right?
okay. As it goes into the glass, it's going to switch closer to the dotted line.
Right, but we're not going into a dense material, we're leaving a dense material and going into air. So it's going to spread out.
So it's going to get wider. Yes.
Yes, good. So this angle, because air is not very dense, neither is this angle. This software, I used to work with it, and they updated it, so now it's different, and I have to get used to it.
Okay.
So the exit angle is wide because we're in a not dense area, and then here the incident angle is very compacted because we're in a dense medium.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let's try this again, and then we'll come back to our... Oops, why don't I do this? I'm going to come to the... Okay.
Oh,
Class
whoa, what's
out.
that?
Dr. Norman, I can't see the presentation.
Where? What?
It won't show up on my screen. Like, all it shows is like a D and your name.
I can't see it either. It's doing the same for me.
What's
Okay,
that?
I can see, I mean, I was viewing it, but now all I see is 3 dots and an X next to it.
Oh,
That's
is that what you're?
Yeah.
Is that what you all are seeing?
Yes, now something
Yeah.
changed.
Oh,
I
no,
don't
haven't.
know.
That's because I got rid of it. I was about to draw something else.
Is that what that makes that circle you keep moving is? Like a line and stuff?
What's that?
Are you like
This is my
drawing?
ruler.
Oh, the thing you're
I
moving?
use it to draw lines with. Autumn, can
Okay.
Will these notes be online?
what's that?
Will these notes
Yes,
be online?
I'm gonna put the recording online. At least
Okay.
part of it that I got. So, can everybody, Autumn, can you see this? Or
No, sir.
No, I
think
can't
Autumn
see it
is-
either.
Oh, who else?
Amber,
I
I
can
can't
see
see it.
Oh. No, we may have to. I was really thinking that I'm gonna have to work this out, figure out what it is that's making it where some of you aren't able to.
Have you changed your view?
It should force the
Because
presentation.
students, you can go in and change your view.
What do you mean by change your view, Gene?
If you
That's a
go
really-
to at the bottom of your screen, if you look on the very right, like when you move your mouse over it, or well, I'm using a computer. I don't know how it is if you're using a tablet or something, but there's 3 dots at the corner and it says more options. You
Okay.
click on that, and there's like change layout. Is that what you're talking about, Mr. Dean?
Yes,
Okay,
Okay.
now I see it. It's up.
there you go.
Good, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it, Autumn?
Which option do I hit?
When you get to the more options screen, look at, I think it's change layout.
I'm like, I don't see it anymore.
Okay, so how is everybody now?
Good. Mm-hmm.
We're good. Okay, thank you. I just learned how to use this Google Meet like 4 days ago, so I'm I'm still getting adjusted to it. So thank you for helping me out with that. Okay, so all right, are we ready to jump back in? Okay.
Yes.
All right, we have
Yes.
here a piece of glass. I'm gonna put. Where's my? Why is it doing this? There we go. A piece of glass. So it looks like this. There's another side to it, but I'm not going to be concerned with where the other side of the glass is. I just want you to know which side is air and which side is glass. So, all right, and then I come in at some angle. I guess I don't need my ruler here. I come at some angle like this. Ooh. Like this. Right? So that's the direction of my ray. What's the first thing that I do? Always, always, always.
You have to draw your
Normal.
Yes.
Perpendicular
Oh,
line.
use the word normal. It's absolutely true. That is the word normal. So when people say that normal is just a setting on a dryer, you can tell them that is not correct. It is also the perpendicular to a surface. So yeah, we'll do that. That is, yes, Gene is absolutely right. It's called a normal. I call it kind of a dotted reference line in the video, but it's better referred to as a normal. So okay, so now we have air out here. Let me write that out. This is air and this is glass. So now let me try this. Right here, right here, right here, right here, or right here. A, B, C, D, E. I guess B is not where I want it to be. Sorry. I should probably move these around a little bit. Don't answer yet.
You haven't asked your question yet, right? Dr. Norman?
What?
You haven't asked your
Well,
question
I
yet,
kinda-
have you?
I kind of did.
I make my volume.
I kind of did.
Okay. I need to turn my volume up.
A, C, D, E, F, G for glass. I don't know my alphabet.
Gene.
Okay. So, let me get rid of this.
Okay,
Where's
so
this thing
you're gonna
going?
do that. You want the supposedly, or do you want the actual?
Requires a lot of calculation, but like, do you mean like?
Well,
The approximate.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Only one of
approximate,
these really
right?
truly fits the answer.
Wouldn't it be D?
it has to be closer to the normal line. So
We have a new, yeah, okay, we have a new thing to think about. Why is that?
because in your video you said as it goes out, it's the same thing because air is less dense, and in the glass it's more dense, so it would get closer to the dotted line. You said it was going
Our
to switch
incident
closer to the
angle
dotted
here
line.
is in air, and so it's got a wide angle,
Right.
and since the
Yep.
since the ray inside the material is in a dense material, what you would do is you take that line and you squish it.
Right. So
Exactly.
I was
Exactly. Good job.
Okay. I'll pat myself on the back. No, it's only because I watched the videos. Otherwise, I wouldn't know.
Well, y'all are doing great. If y'all can answer these questions, y'all are doing great. Was that first video okay? I know that first video was really abstract. You don't have to worry too much about it.
It made regular sense.
I had another question. So I saw on the syllabus that for the reading, it was sections 1 through 3. Is that still what all you want us to be referencing from the text, or is that just 4 of those videos?
Or let me check that to make sure. I actually,
Well, it's last I saw in the syllabus, maybe last week, I
I
think.
do not think, I actually have gone over, let me, I'm double checking right now in your book, but I think that, yes, that is, okay, that is as far as you need to read, yes, 1 through 3. 4 gets into quantum, which
Okay,
is
thank
really,
you.
I think, a little bit advanced, so.
Are we gonna go much like that?
No. We're gonna.
I was just making sure. Like, we're gonna go over quantum and run line, doing
I think
side.
what
That's great.
We're gonna address sort of the consequences of it next, in the next topic, which I'll start on some videos early. So your first quiz on Thursday will be over this optical stuff. The quiz next Monday may be over a little bit about atoms, and when we talk about atoms, there's no way to avoid talking about quantum, because that's how they're built. But we're not going to do anything terrible. We're just going to look at how, like, what's called the Bohr model of the atom.
So the videos we just, or the videos up right now are for the quiz
Thursday.
today. And for the quiz,
Yes.
do what? Oh, they're for Thursday?
We shouldn't have a quiz today. We just have one. No. There's
Oh, we don't? Okay, I thought you said in that message yesterday that you were moving it.
So we'll
starting.
do
Oh, no, you said
every
okay.
Thursday and Tuesday starting this Thursday. So.
Okay.
So there's no quiz,
I'm sorry.
right? I hear it. Okay. Really bad.
Students, if you do not hear a reverb and an echo, you're the one that's causing it. The person that cannot hear it is the one that's causing that. And that's usually because your video, your speaker and microphone are too close together. It usually happens when someone's on a phone. So if you're not going to talk, it would be helpful if you mute your microphone.
I have headphones and I don't know. I can still hear the reverb.
Oh,
So.
Well, the echo went away and I can hear everybody normal now.
I think I can do that too. Okay. Question. So what I'm understanding, there is no test today for the videos that you put on referring everything to Thursday. Correct?
see if we can. Nope. Hold on.
I keep getting closer to you're thinking I'm going to understand this better.
Okay. Are we good?
I can understand it better, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the
I
reverb
muted
just
Autumn.
went away.
Autumn, you're the culprit.
Oh no!
Oh, she just got on here.
But Autumn can unmute her
That's
microphone
correct.
when she
Autumn,
wants
if
to
you need to
speak
say
up, right?
something, please unmute your mic
Yeah.
and
Okay.
say it, and then you can mute it back again to avoid all the reverb. And if you can't figure out how to unmute it, then you can always type to us and say, "Hey, help! I'm a mute. I need help." So, okay, let's see. I think Stormy, you were asking, about the test. There is no test. What's that?
I can re-ask. Okay. Okay, do me re-ask my question? Would that be better? Okay, so from what I'm understanding, there's no quiz today because all of the videos and what we're talking about is all going to reflect to the quiz. All the quiz starts Thursday, like Thursdays, or when the quiz starts Thursdays. Oh, I'm sorry, I had a paw that hit my computer screen that made my computer fall. So our quizzes and stuff start Thursday, and the videos that you put on today or yesterday all refers back to Thursday.
Changed all the dates on the quizzes, so they should reflect the correct dates and times now.
Okay, that's good to know. So Tuesdays are just like reflection, like not reflection. Like today's got like reflection days, and Tuesdays, and Thursdays are reflection days, and then it's the quiz.
Yes.
Right? I'm superly like overthinking this. I just want to make
I
sure.
got confused because because we're talking
What
about
we're reflecting.
So, okay.
The effects of isolation.
Exactly. COVID-19 for you.
So yeah, that's true. Speaking though of reflection,
Okay.
I think that we should make sure that everybody's clear about that as well.
I second that.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's look at ourselves in a mirror. Okay. Let's do that. No. Let's look at.
I don't know if I want to do
Let's look
that.
at a diagram of us looking at ourselves in a mirror, is what I meant to say. Okay, so we're going to put up a mirror. Let's see.
That was also in your
We're going
video,
to look at it
Dr.
a little
Newman.
differently this time.
Yes.
We're going to look at it from above. Whoops. So our mirror is going to be
Okay.
is here, and the way that we denote that the left side is the shiny part, and the right side is like a brick wall or whatever. Okay, so there's nothing but wall over on the right side. Okay, and our mirror is hanging on the wall. So it's air over here on the left. Okay, so if we were to look at ourselves, what we want to do is look at this from above. So what we're doing is we're like a bug on the ceiling, and we're looking at somebody looking at themselves in the mirror. Okay, so this person has a head that's shaped like a potato for whatever reason, and 2 eyes, right? And okay, and they're looking at themselves in the mirror. Is this okay? Can everybody see there's a shoulder, there's another shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at him from above. Okay.
Let's brave
Charlie
this
Brown.
person so that they have like a blue on one side of their face, okay? And we want to look at what happens to the image in the mirror. Okay. So in the mirror, this person sees rays of light coming from different parts of his head. So let's say this ear over here, okay? He's got a little ear over here, and when the person sees the ear, then it has to be, we could check all different kinds of rays of light, okay? There's this one, and that one obeys the law of reflection, so it's going to bounce off just like that. Well, we can't see that one. That didn't go anywhere we can see. It might also go over here. Well, that also did not. We don't see that one either. This is a really interesting point that I would like to bring up. Let's make one ray that is about right. I think this will probably do it right here. That one right there. That went into his eye, right? So he can see his ear by this ray, okay? Oops. This thing is making all kinds of rays, right? But one of them we can see. Does that make sense? Here's a really cool thing that occurs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to trace this ray that we can't see. We can't see it, but I'm still going to trace it, okay? I'm going to trace it back where that ray appears to be coming from. And then I'm also going to trace back this ray to where it appears to be coming from. So all the rays that have arrows that are pointing away from the mirror, I'm going to trace them back. I have to be very careful about my measurements here. I'm going to trace them all back. And now this is not going to be perfect because my drawing is not... Oh, it's really imperfect. It's much more imperfect than I intended for it to be. I'll tell you what, let me correct. I think it's this one on top that's the problem here. I should be drawing my normal here.
Hey, Dr. Norman.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dr. Norman. Is there any way you can color your reflections that you're trying to do, like with those lines? Could you make it like a color?
I'm going to make...
Because I'm kind of confused with all the different lines. I'm like, I don't know which one I'm supposed to be looking at.
Let me just correct that one real quick.
I mean, it's totally fine if you can't. I was just thought if that would you could do it for a suggestion was if you could.
Okay, like there's always a way. We'll figure it out. Okay. There. Now all of the rays that are leaving the mirror are blue, and all of the rays that are going toward the mirror are purple. Does that help?
Yeah, so everything going toward the mirror is reflection. Yeah, so everything going toward the mirror is reflection.
It's
going
reflected after it goes away from the mirror. Okay. Okay, this line looks okay, so I'm gonna... That may not be our problem. But my lines aren't adding up properly, and I'm trying to figure out where that went wrong. I usually am a little better at this, so I'm trying to figure out... I think it's this line that's the problem. Alright, because these two lines, this line reflection and this line reflection are good, so let's actually figure out where that one was supposed to be. Let's, trust me, this is going to be cool when you finally see it. I know it's maybe confusing right now, but it's going to be cool. Dang it.
What are you trying to do with your
Trace back
ruler
all
again?
my lines that are leaving the mirror, right? And I want to make sure that it ends up being a cool effect. But I
Okay.
have to kind of modify it a little bit. So, what color was I using there? I think I was using a light blue to trace back. Okay, so I'm tracing this back, right? Okay, and I also, this line is not actually correct. I don't think any of these are correct. I didn't do a good enough job with that line, so I have to get rid of it. I'm sorry. I just stole my own thunder.
Now my picture's all messed up.
That's probably a good idea.
I'm not fixing it. I'll wait till you're done.
Okay. It's kind of tricky trying to figure out where exactly this thing is, but we'll get it. Okay. So let's do something like this. Okay. So that's the ray going toward the mirror, and then the ray going away from the mirror is like this. Okay. Okay. This is more correct. Okay. So, do all these rays seem like they're obeying the law of reflection? Do you remember the law of reflection?
Sure.
Mhm.
Yes. I think.
Law of reflection. Two rays.
If it's a smooth surface, it goes at the same angle as
So we'll have
it went in, correct?
It's specular.
It's that the incident angle and the reflective angle are the same, right?
Yeah.
And that's what someone else just said. It just my
You just put it in better words.
I drew that
his
one.
words, not mine.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
so,
but
if we trace this one back, then we actually, and this is like I said, it's a little bit off, but at least we get the idea. You'd have to actually do this perfectly in order to get a perfect result. Okay, and I'm just estimating here, so so bear with me. Let's trace this one back, and where do you think it's going to go? Okay, they all meet in the same location. Now, it really should be. It should be that they meet right about here. So I'm off a little bit. Okay. Wow. The reason that I know that they should meet about here is because the distance between the ear and the mirror should be the same as the distance from the mirror to where the ear appears to be in the mirror. This is a weird effect, okay? This is called image formation, which I have mentioned in the videos. But the thing that's really interesting about this is that no matter where you go in a room, and not the person in the mirror, but no matter where someone else goes in the room, it'll appear that this thing is moving around, but it's not. The image is actually right there no matter what. Now that's going to be something you're going to have to wrap your brain around. Like the image, if you put a vase in front of a mirror, its image is located exactly at the same distance from the mirror as the vase is, but inside the mirror. And that image is just there no matter what. If you move around the room, that image is always going to be at that location inside the wall, no matter where you move in the room. Weird, huh? I got a good question for you after all this.
Yeah.
Let's look at ourselves in the mirror again, and I want to ask you this really fun question. What is the shortest mirror that you can look at yourself in? So let me specify what I mean by that, okay? I mean, if you're 6 feet tall then what is the shortest mirror that you can see your entire self in?
How would you find that?
Well,
How do you find that out?
That
Well, you
depends
would-
on the location of the mirror, right? Like if it's all the way, you know, when you
You're
say
right
it's a
that you
certain
have to
amount of
position
inches,
it
whether that's on the
exactly
floor
right
or in the
order
middle
to
or
get the
anything else,
shortest
right?
mirror to work properly, right? But
But don't you also have to be farther away?
okay,
Like
so
if you
you're
use a
saying
real small
this-
mirror, you just have to
this
back
is
up and you
gonna
can
be
see your whole
somewhat
self.
related to how close we are to the mirror. Okay, so we'll put a distance on there. Let's put
Yes.
our person right here. Arg. Oh, why am I not getting a person?
Does this lead back to like a graph? Dr. Smith? Like the computers, the little things we did in class on the computer.
What
Does that kind of refer back to
I
that?
don't remember doing that.
Is that completely-
Can you remind me?
Well, I mean, it felt like a graph. It's like whenever we could see how far back we're going, it would show. Like when we used a book. Go
Are we
back
talking
to
about the velocity thing that we did at the very beginning when we were measuring acceleration versus velocity?
yeah. Is it kind of like that kind
I
of
don't. I always
sort of
hesitate
like
to
that,
say
or is
it
that completely
has nothing
different?
to do with it
graph?
because I feel like everything has to do with everything, but I don't see the connection between that and this. Let's take this person's eyes
Okay,
to be on
I was just making
the
sure.
top of their head, essentially, right? So their eyes are 6 feet off the floor, right? And they have a distance away from the mirror, and we don't know what that is, but we don't care. We'll just put a letter D to it, okay? Let's look at rays of light that this person sees with their eyes from the top of their head, and rays of lies. Wow, rays of lies. Wow, that's a new thing. And ray. What's that?
Isn't that a Madonna song?
I imagine it probably is. Yes.
That's a Madonna
So,
song, right?
Let's use the law of reflection. That's all we have to do, okay? So that means that rays of light that come from the top of the head, where the eyes are, have to go toward the mirror, right? And then the rays of light that come off of the mirror, which I guess I can make orange, since I'm kind of running out of colors, they bounce right back off again, like so, right? Just directly to the mirror and back. No problem, right? Okay. What about the ones from your feet?
Right.
Where do they go? If they go here, they'll miss your eyes entirely. If they go here, they'll miss your eyes entirely, right? So we have to make them, where would they strike in order to make sure that the law of reflection is obeyed? Yes. Mathematically, they must
Probably
be
right.
Halfway.
because if the law of reflection is to be correct, then if the angle entering and the angle exiting are the same, then that means that it goes 3 feet up on the way there and 3 feet up on the way back, right? So, look what we can do. We can erase everything from here down. We don't need it, right? We can also erase everything from here up. We don't need it. We need exactly, oops, not orange. Do not do
Oh. So it would approximately be
That's
half of his height,
absolutely correct.
because his eyes aren't exactly
So,
on the top of his head,
approximately
but they're
3 feet. Yes. Whatever half your height. This is an interesting point that I think it was Lori that made. That what about the distance to the mirror? And that's absolutely what I always get.
Mhm.
That. And that's
Yeah, I said
intuitively
something
it
like
feels
that.
like that should be true. But notice that this is true no matter what distance we used. If you back up, then the angles get sharper, but they're still
Yeah.
the same, and they still meet at 3 feet.
Oh.
It's cool, isn't it? Go try it out.
That makes
If you have
sense.
a
Mhm,
long
okay.
mirror, try to cover up part of the mirror and
Mhm.
see how much of that mirror is actually necessary in order to see your entire body. It's kind of interesting.
I'm gonna guess approximately
Yes.
2.5 feet. No.
Well, like you said, your eyes
I don't.
sometimes
No,
don't
not
feel
2.5.
pretty, so
That would
you need
mean
a little bit
I'm
of
like 5
extra
foot.
mirror, so, anyway.
Yeah.
That's cool. We would need a 3-foot mirror to see her whole
Okay,
body.
I hope this kind of gives everybody
That's
like
cool.
a introduction to optics. I want to be able to answer any questions you have about that on Thursday also, but because you're gonna have a quiz on Thursday, I'm gonna release some homework problems. I chose homework problems today or yesterday, and I'm gonna put those up so that you can work those
No,
out.
that's it.
And then Thursday we can answer questions about those, and then also we'll get started on atoms on Thursday because I'm gonna put some videos up tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, on
No.
Thursday on
Thursday's
this, will it have
quiz will only be on
any
the
questions about atoms on that? Okay, and do we need to take that
Thursday
quiz
at
before
midnight,
class
so
on
that
Thursday,
way
or
you
do
have
we?
time
When's
to
that
ask
due?
ask me questions on the session.
Okay.
Wait, we're still, I mean, I know we can go to both if we're struggling, but
No,
we're
you're
required to only go to
Uh,
one still, right? Or
you
are
have to
we
go to
doing
one.
two both? No. Okay.
Tuesday or
Go to both.
Thursday. Yes. I'm gonna try to get them up tomorrow.
Okay, when will the next set of videos be up? Do you know? Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful.
and I expect
Thank
to
you.
spend a lot
And
of
those will be
next
over
week
atoms,
on
right?
So a little bit Thursday this week, Tuesday next week, and I think that we can segue into chemistry just using that. Well, we have to touch on chemistry. You have to
I
know a
was
little
gonna
bit
say chemistry. We're gonna go into chemistry.
Great.
You're gonna take it easy, right? Like you're gonna take it easy. Like I'm not saying it's gonna be super easy, but you're like gonna go, whoa, here's a 101. Like what you know.
Well,
I mean, it'll
don't know
be
that
as
we
much chemistry as
necessarily
covered on the
cover every
Praxis,
single
right?
thing that could possibly be on the Praxis, because that's yeah. It should be, yeah.
Oh, right. I know. I
Yeah,
just
the
meant
book
like as
actually-
far
your
as the
book goes way
depth of
into
it
chemistry.
goes.
And
Yeah.
we don't need we don't need all that. We don't need all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that. Oh, good.
No, I don't.
'Cause even with how deep I saw the book went with light, I was like, oh, geez. Like, looking at the time frame allotted in the syllabus and even how long we have. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. So we have a unit exam, like, a few days before the final.
Yeah, you should.
Is that-
I'm not
did I
really
read the
sure
syllabus
best way
right?
to do that. I'm probably going to make like a take-home exam that you'll submit as a document.
Are we gonna be back in school before that, or are we going back at all?
Wait, are we gonna be back in school before that, or are we?
We're not going back
Yeah,
at all.
sorry,
Stormy.
I shouldn't use the word
Okay, 'cause that made me confused when you said take home exam. I'm like, what's that?
take
mean?
at home exam.
And then we're gonna a couple days later.
We're gonna have our last exam,
Yeah, that's
and then
generally-
we're gonna a couple days later we're gonna turn around and do our final.
Sorry, I didn't mean to freak everyone out. I just saw that in the syllabus and wanted to
Oh
clarify
my
it.
God,
I'm so
that's
sorry,
like-
guys.
The way that I
That's
try,
like totally stressing me now. Wow.
okay, the way that I try,
I'm
the
sorry.
way that I try to do
It's
this
all
in
chaos.
all of my classes really is that you test over a unit, and then you test over another unit, you test over another unit, and by the time you're all done with all of that, then you should be prepared to do enough. Like, you shouldn't have to study super hard after you've gone through that. Just go back over the material, and my final exams are usually like takeaway messages. Like, you don't have to study as intensely as you did for all of the other stuff. So just like, what do you need to walk away from this course with? That's what final exams for me are about. It doesn't mean don't study. It just means study the simpler concepts, not the more complicated ones for the final. But yeah, I mean, you have to be tested on the final unit before you can go into the final. So.
Hey, I have a question. That made me think. Will you give us like a study guide?
Right.
Hey, I have a question. That made me think, will you give us like a study guide to think of for that? Like, I know on the first test you kind of gave us a study guide. Will we get another study guide? Or is that completely different now since we're at home?
Exam, then I don't know that a study guide is really going to be that helpful. The reason that I don't usually do so much study guides as much as I do warning shots, you know, like,
Okay.
hey, this is what it's going to be like. Be ready. But if you're doing a take-it-home exam, then you don't need
Yeah, I appreciate those.
warning. You're like, oh, I see what I'm dealing with, and I have plenty of time to figure out how to cope with it. So,
Thank you, Abigail, for telling me that. Okay.
That helps.
Thank you, Abigail, for telling me that.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like make a big thing about it. I just
No.
I like the idea though of a take home, I guess if you want to call it test, since we won't have the pressure of once you open up this exam, you have to sit down and work through it until you submit it, and then that's it. I like that with a takeaway test or whatever, we'd be able to work on it at our own pace and spend time on what we want to spend time on.
Yeah.
But for the final, I may do what I may do on that is like a praxis style exam. So that would be, you would just be taking it as like a bunch of quiz questions. Now they should be rather simple quiz questions, but that's not a happy.
Oh no, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know.
Oh
no, I'm sorry. Personally, I like.
Not simple is different, you know. So that's.
I mean, everyone's different. Personally,
Definitely.
I prefer the exam questions to the quiz questions. The quiz questions seem harder to me for some
I'll be using
reason.
the same technology. That's what I was. As you take your quizzes in, but if I give you like a whole horde of easier multiple choice questions to work with, this is how your praxis is set up. It's just a slew of multiple choice questions, and so if I set that up, then it should be a little bit closer to what you would see on the praxis, and I think that's probably a good way to kind of prepare. Like, you know, your multiple choice questions that are in the back of the book, or back of the chapters, I mean. The applying the concepts.
Well, I mean, I know that you're still like working on it and figuring it out. It's still like a month away.
So there won't be any.
As of right now,
Well, I mean, I know that you're still like working on it and figuring it out, and it's still like a month away. But as of right now, you're not
Correct.
thinking that there will be any calculation on the final,
Well,
or
no,
just
hold
not a
on.
lot.
It doesn't mean you.
That makes me happy.
Okay.
No, hold on. That doesn't.
That works.
I shouldn't say that there's
I'm with you, Abigail.
calculations. I should say. I should say that you don't have to enter numbers.
I'm sorry.
So,
I mean,
like, if you
yeah,
do a
okay.
calculation and then that happens to be one of those multiple
Oh,
choice
okay.
questions,
Okay.
then
Oh,
you've done
okay.
your calculation correctly.
just not me. I do way better if I
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Just not multiple choice.
I do way better if I can see what kind of question I get, like what I'm supposed to get, compared to like if I type in something in the calculator and I'm thinking this is the right number and I'm looking and it's not on that multiple choice section, then I know I'm doing something wrong. Versus,
But
versus like you know that meme is like you know what you're supposed to
well,
I get like
versus like, you know, that meme is like, you know, what you're supposed to get, but I get like, you know, you have 100, you know, maybe 50. I get like a million and it's not on there, it gives me a bad.
Gave us multiple choice exams.
That helps.
Every single question had all of the above or none of the above as an option. That was so terrible. I was like, this is even worse than if you just didn't
Please
give
don't
us
do that.
multiple choice.
Ew.
I've had a test like that before.
Anyways, I will not do that to you.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there may be some questions that are like, oh, is it all of the above? You know,
Thank
whatever,
you.
but
Thank you.
I'm not gonna do that as a blanket policy. That's terrible.
Just don't do that when it comes with numbers. When you do that, when someone does that when it's like you have to do numbers or
Just don't do that when it comes with numbers. When you do that, when
Yeah.
someone does that when it's
But
like
if it's
you have to
like-
do
if it's
numbers are
concepts,
involved,
let's
that's
say,
when I'm like,
ball or tree or
holy
nothing
cow.
or something, that's fair game.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. But the number thing, please don't do that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
these,
But the number
these
thing,
applying the
please
concepts
don't.
multiple choice
do
questions
that.
in the back of the chapter are a really great way to study for your final.
Okay. That's awesome.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
But although
awesome.
you still need to do some
Appreciate it.
calculations too. So
Okay, so I think I figured out what I did on that problem.
oh yeah, what's
Better.
Okay, so I think I figured out what I did on that problem, Dr. Norman.
I used like -4.
I guess I got confused. I used like -4 point blah 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 and -1 point because I thought that that's what I was supposed to do because it was electrons, and whenever I took out the negatives and just had it in the like 10 to the -9 and 10 to the -19,
that's very strange.
I got a number times 10 to the 10.
Those negatives shouldn't have made a difference.
It is strange. I don't know. Because the charge is -4.580 times 10 to the -9 coulombs, and then if I just did that and then divided by 1.602 times -19 or 10 to the -19, I still didn't get the right answer. And then
Can you
if I
send me
took away
screenshots?
all the
Not
negatives,
screenshots, but like
I get the right
it's a
answer.
calculator. But can you send me like pictures of that so that I can see where the problem is and I can help you with that individually? Okay, great.
yes. Sounds good.
I just had one
I'm
more
gonna put
clarification.
that up.
When did you say the suggested homework would be
For
at?
chapter 7 for light.
Perfect. Okay, that's all
Okay.
I had.
I have a question. Is
Right.
Is Mr. Jean still on here? Or did he
Hey,
log off?
I have a question. Is Mr. Jean still on here? Or did he log off?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Hey, I have a question. Are we
I have an
doing
answer.
are we doing it online? Like, are we gonna have it visual? Like, you know, Zoom or Google?
Yeah,
Classrooms?
we're gonna meet live this Friday, 2 to
thank-
4.
Good. Because those labs confuse I was so confused. Like, I did it, but I was so lost and confused the entire time. So I'm so happy we're finally gonna meet in person. Or I mean,
Okay.
on person.
My
Whatever you want.
apologies. Before the corona hit, I had told everyone that we hadn't missed a single class and that the Friday before our spring break we'd have off. Well, I didn't want to go back on those words, but I'd already created the labs that I wanted you to do before you took the test. So that's what you did last week.
Okay, that helps. I was just like, man, I really miss seeing like Google. Like, I can just see you in person more.
I'm sorry. We're on track again now.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna meet on like. Will you tell us where you want to meet us through? Like, will we do something more Google Meets? Or
You know what? I suspect that big blue button is not going to be in high demand from 2 to 4 on a Friday
No, I
afternoon.
think that's fair.
Okay.
It's really 10
But, you know, I could be applying some faulty logic to that. Yeah. So let's go with big blue button.
okay, cool.
Unless, what are your other professors doing? Are they doing the big blue button?
I have a lot of professors doing Zoom. One of the professors
well,
paid for it,
Yeah.
and then I have a professor. And then I have another professor doing Google Meets, like Dr. Norman.
I think
Which one do
Zoom
you
is being-
prefer? Because I have a professional Zoom account. I can do Hangouts or I could do Big Blue Button. Which one do you
It was
do?
my
What?
It was my understanding that Zoom is kind of being warned away from right now because there have been some reports of people hacking in with some not so pleasant images and videos. So I know that all of my teachers have moved away from Zoom to Google and stuff just because of that.
Yeah, I read about it, but I'm also curious as to what would actually pop up, but I don't want to expose anyone to that, so you're probably
someone
right.
in one of my other classes
If
with his
you make
roommate
sure
or
that the link
something
is
that
not,
happened and he saw it. It
provided,
was just,
publicly, then that won't happen. Since people search, they actually do Google searches on Zoom links, and then they find publicly available links, and they use those to hack in. But otherwise, they can't really find a way in especially if you password protect it. But I don't think that's really necessary, as long as
My kids are doing that too, and they have the
if you
Zoom
guys
as
were
password
kids, then I would
protected
definitely
now,
do that. But
so people can't hack
as
into
adults, I think as long as Gene, as long as you just supply them with with a link, and then they don't share it with anybody else, then nobody else can actually get to it. So.
Sure. Okay, so no one else share the link.
I won't do that. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Miss you guys. I'll see you Thursday if you're back in on Thursday, or I'll see you Friday.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Bye.
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 Bye-bye.